but it all comes back to what you always say: money equals feelings.
Yeah.
And that being an advisor's biggest job is helping to manage people's feelings. But I think that we have a terrible time doing it. So we have to, as an industry, grow to being able to manage feelings so much more. But how can we get people in this industry that are analytical, numbers oriented, to move to this soft feelings? They can't, I don't even know if they have that, right? They're just so analytical in this industry. And I mean, that seems like the most difficult thing. How have you seen people get there? They can ask questions, but if you don't have true insight feeling of like nature wanting to go with that, it doesn't do any good from that standpoint. Like, that's where I see the biggest challenge of getting to within the industry.
Yeah, I know it's a central problem, and I'm not even suggesting that everybody should. Like, I don't know. I like, there's plenty of other ways to build a business, I guess. I just don't know what they are and how long they'll last. But, a couple of things come to mind. Number one, we're seeing this more often where people actually intentionally partner with somebody who's really, really good at the emotional intelligence side of the business. We've also seen, I don't want to partner with somebody. We've also seen just people practice. Like, it's just, all we're talking about is asking good questions and listening. It's actually really hard because you got to let go of all the, I know the answer. You've got to cede control of the agenda, even though you can keep people on track. But I mean, I'm not really interested in asking questions that I know the answer to. So the whole reason I care about this is behavior out here that feels like I should do it. I'm a client, I'm a human. It feels like I should do this. I should sell. That market's really scary. My neighbor's selling. Everyone around me selling. I'm going to call my planner. I call my advisor. I say, aren't we going to do something? My advisor sprays me with facts and figures. I hang up. I'm just mad at them. But if my advisor says, oh, geez, Matt, you know what's funny? I mean, not funny really, but when I watch the news right now, I get scared too. Right? Greet with empathy. Hey, would it be okay before we go any further? Please hold method. Can I go grab your file? Please hold, right? Even if I have the file in front of me. Creates a little bit of space. We can let everybody settle down, fight or flight, boom. I pull out the file. The first thing I do with the file is I say, hey, Matt, before we get to the reasonable fear that you have right now about what's going on in the market, before we get there, would it be okay if we just review real quickly? Like, I remember from our first meeting, I think we've actually reviewed this every meeting. You told me that time with your family, mainly outside, and serving in your church and community are the most important things. That's like why we're doing this work. Is that still true? Oh, yeah, totally, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, based on that, we had this goal of doing this, and this, goals built out of values, right? And based on that, are those goals still true? Yeah. And then based on that, we built this portfolio that was intentionally designed to help you meet those goals. Still in the same place. Like, we've checked, and by the way, I've checked all the products. Everything's acting the way we would have expected it to operate in this market environment. Like, there's nothing blowing up here. I'm on it. If something does, I'll be right there. Right. So like, that's the process, is we're taking them out of the trees, the branches that they don't control, back to the grounding that they do control, so that they can say no to something that feels like they have to say yes to, or they're going to die. And the only reason they can say no is because we've given them a bigger yes. The bigger yes was, hey, is it right that you time with your family mainly outside? Yeah, thank you. And then it gets to the point where you do that enough and the client just calls and says, hey, Matt, just tell me that story again. You know what I mean? Like, they know what's coming. Hey, thanks. Talk to you next time. Right? So that's practically, that's how I see it. It's you can be as woo-woo as you want, as new age as you want, as life planning as you want. Fine, great. But that's like that brass tacks of how I help people behave correctly with their investments.